Welcome back to our channel, The Historical Records. Today, we have a truly captivating topic to explore: World War II secrets revealed, Italy's surrender in 1943. World War II was one of the most significant and devastating conflicts in human history, involving countries from around the globe in a brutal struggle for power and ideology. Italy played a unique and complex role in this global conflict, and its surrender in 1943 had profound implications for the course and outcome of the war. In this discussion, we will provide an overview of Italy's role in World War II and delve into the importance of its surrender in 1943. Italy, under the leadership of Benito Mussolini and the Fascist Party, entered World War II as one of the Axis powers alongside Nazi Germany and Japan. Italy's involvement in the war began in 1939 when it invaded Albania, and in 1940, it joined Germany in its invasion of France. However, Italy's military performance during this period was often lackluster, and its forces faced significant setbacks. One of the most notable campaigns involving Italy was its invasion of Greece in 1940. Despite initial successes, the Greek campaign bogged down Italian forces and required German intervention to achieve victory. This diversion of resources strained the Axis powers and impacted their overall war effort. Italy's surrender in 1943 marked a turning point in World War II for several key reasons. Allied invasion of Italy. The surrender opened the door for the Allies to launch their Italian campaign. On September 3, 1943, Italy signed an armistice with the Allies, and on September 9, the surrender was publicly announced. The Allies, primarily the United States and the United Kingdom, quickly began landing troops in Italy. This campaign would become a significant front in the war and a critical step toward the liberation of Europe. Splitting the Axis. Italy's surrender divided the Axis powers, as Germany occupied northern Italy and established the Italian Social Republic in the north, while the Allies controlled the south. This division forced Germany to commit valuable resources to defend its newly acquired territory in Italy, weakening its eastern front against the Soviet Union. Psychological impact. Italy's surrender had a demoralizing effect on the Axis powers and demonstrated to the world that one of the major Axis nations had lost faith in the alliance. This eroded the perception of Axis invincibility and boosted Allied morale. Shift in Italian government. After the surrender, Italy formed a new government under Marshal Pietro Badoglio, which officially declared war on Germany in October 1943. This switch in allegiance further weakened the Axis alliance and reinforced the importance of Italy's surrender. Italy's alliance with Nazi Germany and fascist regime. During the lead-up to World War II, Italy, under the leadership of Benito Mussolini and the National Fascist Party, formed a close alliance with Nazi Germany, led by Adolf Hitler. This Axis powers alliance was rooted in shared fascist ideologies, as well as mutual geopolitical interests. Ideological alignment. Both Italy and Nazi Germany shared common fascist ideologies that promoted authoritarianism, nationalism, and militarism. Mussolini's Italy had already established a totalitarian regime in the 1920s. And Hitler's rise to power in Germany further solidified their ideological bond. Expansionist agendas. Italy and Nazi Germany sought to expand their territorial influence and believed in the importance of acquiring additional resources and territories. This expansionist drive led to aggressive military actions, including Italy's invasion of Ethiopia in 1935–1936 and Germany's annexation of Austria and the Sudetenland. The Rome-Berlin Axis. In October 1936, Italy and Germany formalized their alliance with the signing of the Rome-Berlin Axis Pact. This pact served as a foundation for further collaboration in the lead-up to World War II. Allied invasion of Italy. The Allied invasion of Italy played a crucial role in the Mediterranean and European theaters of World War II. It marked a significant turning point in the war and had several key phases. North African Campaign. Prior to the invasion of Italy, the Allies engaged in the North African Campaign, where they successfully pushed Axis forces, including Italian troops, led by Field Marshal Erwin Rommel, out of North Africa by 1943. This campaign disrupted Axis supply lines and paved the way for the invasion of Italy. Sicily and southern Italy. The Allied invasion of Italy began with the invasion of Sicily in July 1943. This campaign, codenamed Operation Husky, was followed by the mainland invasion at Salerno in September. The Allies, mainly composed of American and British forces, aimed to gain a foothold in Italy and advance northward. Italian Armistice. on September 3, 1943, Italy signed an armistice with the Allies, officially ending its cooperation with Nazi Germany. This surrender led to a complex situation as the Germans swiftly occupied northern Italy while the Allies moved up from the south. Italian campaign. The Italian campaign was characterized by a series of intense battles and campaigns, including the battles of Anzio and Monte Cassino. The Allies faced fierce resistance from German forces and challenging terrain. The campaign would continue until the end of the war in 1945 and significantly contributed to the weakening of the Axis powers. Internal struggles within Italy. During World War II, Italy faced internal struggles and shifts in leadership that further complicated its position. Mussolini's downfall. As Italy's military fortunes declined, Mussolini's popularity waned. In July 1943, he was arrested by the Italian King Victor Emmanuel III, effectively ending his rule. Italy then formed a new government under Marshal Pietro Badoglio, which sought a separate peace with the Allies. Italy's surrender. King Victor Emmanuel III's role. King Victor Emmanuel III played a pivotal role in Italy's surrender during World War II. His actions were significant in the political upheaval that followed Italy's declining fortunes in the war. Dismissal of Mussolini. On July 25, 1943, as Italy faced military setbacks and increasing internal opposition to Mussolini's leadership, King Victor Emmanuel III took the extraordinary step of dismissing Benito Mussolini as the prime minister. This marked a turning point in Italy's involvement in the war. Arrest of Mussolini. Following Mussolini's dismissal, he was arrested on the king's orders. This move signaled a significant break with the fascist regime and opened the door for negotiations with the Allies. Collaboration with Badoglio. King Victor Emmanuel III appointed Marshal Pietro Badoglio as the new prime minister. Badoglio was tasked with leading Italy out of its alliance with Nazi Germany and seeking an armistice with the Allies. Civil War. Mussolini was rescued by German forces and established the Italian Social Republic in the north, leading to a civil war within Italy between those loyal to the new government in the south and those aligned with Mussolini in the north. This internal conflict added to the chaos within the country. Italy's surrender. King Victor Emmanuel III's role. King Victor Emmanuel III played a pivotal role in Italy's surrender during World War II. His actions were significant in the political upheaval that followed Italy's declining fortunes in the war. Dismissal of Mussolini. On July 25, 1943, as Italy faced military setbacks and increasing internal opposition to Mussolini's leadership, King Victor Emmanuel III took the extraordinary step of dismissing Benito Mussolini as the prime minister. This marked a turning point in Italy's involvement in the war. Arrest of Mussolini. Following Mussolini's dismissal, he was arrested on the king's orders. This move signaled a significant break with the fascist regime and opened the door for negotiations with the Allies. Collaboration with Badoglio. King Victor Emmanuel III appointed Marshal Pietro Badoglio as the new prime minister. Badoglio was tasked with leading Italy out of its alliance with Nazi Germany and seeking an armistice with the Allies. Badoglio's proclamation of surrender. On September 3, 1943, Marshal Pietro Badoglio made a historic proclamation announcing Italy's surrender to the Allied powers. This proclamation had several key points. End of hostilities. Badoglio declared the end of hostilities between Italy and the Allied powers, effectively terminating Italy's participation in the war alongside Nazi Germany. Armistice declaration. The proclamation acknowledged that Italy had signed an armistice agreement with the Allies, although the full text of the armistice had not yet been disclosed. Call for cooperation. Badoglio encouraged Italians to cooperate with the Allied forces, marking a clear shift away from the previous alignment with Nazi Germany. Reaction from Nazi Germany. Nazi Germany's reaction to Italy's surrender was swift and brutal. Occupation of northern Italy. Upon learning of Italy's surrender, German forces, who had already been prepared for such a scenario, swiftly moved to occupy northern Italy. This occupation included the establishment of the Italian Social Republic, a puppet state led by Mussolini. In the north, rescue of Mussolini. German forces rescued Benito Mussolini from his captivity and reinstated him as the leader of the Italian Social Republic. This move aimed to maintain a semblance of fascist rule in the occupied northern regions. Counterattacks. Germany launched counterattacks against both Italian and Allied forces in Italy. These clashes would become a major component of the Italian campaign, as German forces attempted to defend their position and push the Allies back. Armistice of Cassel. the Armistice of Cassel was the formal agreement that established the terms of Italy's surrender to the Allies. It was signed on September 3, 1943, but its contents were initially kept secret from the public. Key elements of the armistice included military clauses. The armistice required Italy to cease all military operations against the Allies, effectively ending its participation in the war. Italian armed forces were ordered to surrender to the Allies. Occupation. The agreement allowed for the occupation of Italian territory by Allied forces, which began immediately after the armistice was signed. Disarmament. Italy was required to disarm, and its navy was to be transferred to the control of the Allied forces. The Armistice of Cassel played a critical role in formalizing Italy's exit from the Axis powers and its alignment with the Allied forces, marking a significant turning point in the course of World War II. German occupation of northern Italy. Following Italy's surrender in September 1943, Nazi Germany swiftly occupied northern Italy. This occupation had several significant consequences. German control. Northern Italy came under direct German control, with the establishment of a puppet state known as the Italian Social Republic in the region. Continued resistance. The German occupation sparked a continuation of resistance activities in northern Italy. As many Italians refused to accept fascist or Nazi rule. Resource exploitation. Germany exploited Italy's industrial and agricultural resources, further straining the Italian economy and contributing to food shortages. Formation of the Italian Social Republic. The Italian Social Republic, Repubblica Sociale Italiana or RSI, was established in September 1943, following the German occupation of northern Italy. This puppet state, led by Benito Mussolini, had several consequences. Puppet regime. The RSI was a puppet regime under German control, with Mussolini serving as its figurehead leader. Limited territory. The RSI's territory was limited to northern Italy, and it had no international recognition. Its existence created a divided Italy, with the Allies in control of the south and the RSI in the north. Continued conflict. The RSI's formation led to a prolonged period of internal conflict as Italian resistance movements and German forces clashed with RSI troops and officials. Italian resistance movements. Italy's surrender triggered the emergence and growth of various resistance movements across the country. These movements had several consequences. Guerrilla warfare. Resistance groups engaged in guerrilla warfare against both German forces and the Italian Social Republic. They conducted sabotage, ambushes, and acts of civil disobedience. Support for the Allies. Many resistance groups supported the advancing Allied forces by providing intelligence, disrupting German supply lines, and assisting with the liberation of cities. Unity and patriotism. The resistance movements fostered a sense of national unity and patriotism among Italians, helping to heal the divisions caused by years of fascism. Italy's shift to the Allied side. Italy's surrender marked a significant shift in its alignment during World War II. Key consequences of this shift included, alliance with the Allies. Italy officially joined the Allied side in the war after signing the Armistice of Cassel. This alignment allowed for cooperation with the United States, the United Kingdom, and other Allied nations. Liberation of Italy. The Allied forces in southern Italy played a vital role in liberating Italian cities and territories from German control, ultimately leading to the reunification of Italy under a single government. Impact on World War II, opening of the Southern Front. Italy's surrender and the subsequent Allied invasion of southern Italy opened up the Southern Front in the European theater of World War II. This new front placed additional pressure on Nazi Germany and distracted its forces from other theaters, particularly the Eastern Front against the Soviet Union. Allied advance in Italy. The Italian campaign, which followed Italy's surrender, was a grueling and costly series of battles. However, it allowed the Allies to gain a foothold on the European continent and gradually push German forces northward. This advance required substantial resources and troops, but it ultimately contributed to weakening Nazi Germany. Italy's role in the later stages of the war. Italy's shift to the Allied side and the subsequent liberation of Italian territories played a significant role in the later stages of World War II. Diversion of German resources. The German commitment to defending Italy diverted resources and troops away from other fronts, including the Eastern Front against the Soviet Union. Liberation of Europe. The liberation of Italy and its reunification under a single government provided the Allies with a crucial base for launching further offensives into Western Europe, ultimately leading to the defeat of Nazi Germany. Italy's surrender in 1943 had profound implications for World War II. It created a divided Italy, with the Allies in the south and Nazi Germany in the north, and initiated a series of events that reshaped the course of the war. The opening of the Southern Front, the Italian campaign, and Italy's shift to the Allied side all contributed to the weakening of the Axis powers and the eventual Allied victory. Lessons learned from Italy's experience in the war. Italy's experience in World War II serves as a reminder of the complex and evolving nature of alliances, the importance of national unity, and the resilience of people in the face of occupation and oppression. It highlights the role that regional fronts can play in a global conflict and underscores the significance of strategic decisions made by individual nations in shaping the outcome of a war. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe and stay with us.